I never thought my swimming pool would turn into a crime scene. It was a quiet Saturday afternoon, sun high, kids laughing somewhere down the block. I was barefoot, holding a towel, walking toward my backyard pool like I'd done 100 times before. That's when I heard it. Sirens, not distant. Not passing by, stopping. I turned around just in time to see a police cruiser roll to a stop. Right in front of my house. Red and blue lights reflected off my fence, my windows, my pool water. Neighbors stepped outside almost instantly. You know how it goes, police lights turn a peaceful street into a live audience. The driver's door opened, and the officer stepped out like he owned the place. That was the moment I knew this wasn't normal. He didn't ask my name, didn't ask if everything was okay. He walked straight up my driveway, onto my property, eyes locked on my pool gate. Then he said the words I still can't believe. "Sir, I'm here to confiscate your pool keys." I actually laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was so absurd, I thought it had to be a joke. "Excuse me?" I said. That's when she appeared. HOA Karen, clipboard, sunglasses, arms crossed. That looked like she'd already won. And suddenly it all made sense. Karen had been a problem since the day I moved in. She wasn't just on the HOA board. She was the HOA board. She enforced rules that didn't exist, issued fines without authority, sent letters filled with threats but no legal grounding. And she hated my pool, said it was non-compliant, said it invited noise, said it lowered property values. Funny thing was my pool had been there longer than the HOA itself. But Karen didn't care about facts. She cared about control. And today, she brought backup. Karen stepped closer, loud enough for the neighbors to hear. "This pool is not authorized," she said. "The HOA has decided access needs to be revoked." The officer nodded along like a trained pet. I asked calmly, "Do you have a warrant?" He didn't answer. I asked again. Still nothing. Instead, he said, "You're interfering with HOA enforcement." That's when I noticed something important. His body camera turned off. By now, at least a dozen neighbors were watching. Phones were out. Whispers everywhere. Some people looked uncomfortable. Others looked entertained. Karen thrived on this. Public pressure was her favorite weapon. She pointed at my pool gate. "Give him the keys," she snapped. "This is your last warning." I took a breath. Because this wasn't about a pool anymore. This was about abuse of authority. I pulled out my phone, hit record, and said clearly and calmly, "For the record, can you state your name and badge number and explain why you're confiscating private property without a warrant?" The officer stiffened. Karen's smile faded. The crowd leaned in. Suddenly, no one was in control anymore. The officer tried to backtrack. "This is a civil matter," he said. I nodded. "Exactly. So why are you here?" Silence. Karen interrupted, voice sharp. "Stop recording. This is HOA business." That was the moment she crossed the line. Because HOAs don't outrank the Constitution, and cops don't get to freeload authority for personal favors. I kept recording. I asked questions. I stated facts. I showed the deed. I showed the permits. I showed proof the pool predated the HOA. The officer avoided the camera. Karen started yelling, and every neighbor saw it. Finally, the officer said the words Karen never expected. "We're leaving." She spun around. "You can't just leave!" But he was already walking back to the cruiser. Lights off, no keys taken. No victory, just witnesses. What Karen didn't know was that I'd already filed a complaint. What she didn't know was that misuse of police authority triggers automatic review. And what she really didn't know, federal agents were already watching. 3 days later, an unmarked SUV parked down the street. 2 people stepped out. No uniforms, no lights, just badges. They knocked on my door and asked to see the footage. I showed them everything. The threats, the letters, the fines, the video. They asked one question that sent chills down my spine. "How long has this been happening?" Karen was removed from the HOA board. Her emergency authority was revoked. The HOA went silent. And the officer? Placed on administrative leave, investigation pending. Today, my pool is still here. Locked, private, legal, and peaceful. No police lights, no Karen, just water and silence. Power feels absolute until someone knows the law.
Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe, like and comment on my channel. Thank you so much.